Happy Monday morning, everyone. This is the Shenanigoons podcast, and today you are getting a little bit of a shorter episode, mostly because, well, everybody was pretty damn busy, myself included, so we couldn't all get together to actually have a full-featured podcast this week. So, as in the past with some of the quote-unquote bonus episodes, you do have to deal with John, me, by myself. The rest of the crew, they have some other things going on. Josie, of course, caught the plague yet again. But Jose, he had to actually help out with one of our close friends. He is opening up a shop and needed some assistance kind of getting it all squared away. So, all of that said, let's bring it in. The first thing I'd like to actually talk about today is that after 200 goddamn years, Dorohedoro finally is getting a season 2 on Netflix. It is first off, if anybody doesn't know who or what that series, actually pretty much just what that series is, it is a manga that got turned into an anime. So far, up until very recently, it had been one season for almost like 5 or 6 years. And it's very well animated. It's crazy as hell. It's a ton of fun. I highly, highly, highly recommend people watch it if they have not already. So season 2 finally being announced. It's like, fuck yes. Fuck yes. I am super stoked about it. I've read the manga, written by Q Hayashida, and if anybody has not read the manga, I highly, highly recommend that too. The art is amazing. The story is absolutely bonkers. The art is great, and the manga itself has finished. It is complete, so you do not necessarily have to sit there and wait for, oh no, I am current. I need to wait weekly now to read the new updates for these chapters. You don't have to worry about that anymore. You have access to all of it at this point. That said, Q Hayashida does have another manga that they are currently working on called Dai Dark, Daidark. It is also beautiful, great art. And the story on that one is also absolutely batshit. It's kind of a hallmark for Q Hayashida. It's a beautiful thing. So, highly recommend it. If you can, get it legally. I highly recommend having hard copies of this one because it is a great series that I do recommend kind of going back to every so often, much like things like Berserk or even shorter series kind of like Blame or Blom, depending on who you talk to. Lots of really just stellar stuff. Besides that, though, I will transition over to the fact that I do want to talk about a little indie game. Because, well, when I'm alone, that's what I do. And this particular indie game is called Neon White. It's kind of a movement-based puzzle shooter and speedrunner all at the same time. The controls take some getting used to. But the art, the story, the characters themselves, they're a lot of fun. The game, fast-paced, frantic, good shooting. Everything feels good in it when you have the controls down. It takes a little bit to get there because in the beginning it's kind of like, what the hell are these controls? It's kind of like you go from a standard action game 10 years ago to suddenly playing like Dark Souls, and you're kind of like, what the absolute fuck are these controls? Why are they not using the face buttons? Same type of situation here. It's like, why am I playing a movement game when I'm not using any of the damn face buttons? well, there is a method to the madness, and once you get it, it works pretty damn well. It's a lot of fun. Lots of creativity, tons of different ways to, especially as you progress further, there's tons of different ways to kind of like shave time off of all your little scores, because you do want to complete the missions as fast as possible, because that's what will help level you up in the game as far as your neon rank. And that's what helps progress the story. So you do want to shoot for those time records for like gold and the ace, so the platinum. All of that it's just wonderfully fun. And most missions only take maybe a minute for your first time through. And there's a ton of missions, so it's like you could just get right in, get into the game, get playing, get used to the controls, have fun. It's a fun experience. I do highly recommend people play it. And on top of that, there is a lot of collectibles in it. So if you do like collectible hunting, there you go. It'll help you, quote unquote, improve relationships with some of the other cast of characters. But that's all in service of literally just getting the true ending, because then you can have this it's like a whole new ending. It's a lot of fun, kind of brings everything back to where it should be in life. But besides that, though, it's like we do got to talk about Resident Evil 9 a little bit, because I have an Umbrella Corp tattoo. I've had that since I was basically 18. I've been a Resident Evil fan the overwhelming majority of my life. Resident Evil 9 worried me a lot when I first got my hands on it, because I knew that they were splitting the game kind of a little bit Leon, a little bit Grace. And in the beginning, it was so overwhelmingly Grace. And it was kind of like, okay, I wanted to play a little bit more as Leon, because I knew that was going to be more kind of the little, okay, you're this seasoned grizzled vet, you have more options to you, you're a little bit stronger, you have better command over your weaponry and such. And it's like you would get those moments, but then you'd only get it for like maybe 10, 15 minutes. And I was very worried. I'm like, no, they're not going to just do this to me. They're not going to make me have these wonderful, lovely moments as Leon and then just rip that away from me and put me back in control of like just a pistol, basically, where I have to kind of be a lot more judicious with my stuff and have that experience be there for like an hour and a half at a time between the like 10, 15 minutes of Leon. So I was a little worried. And then I finished the first part of the game. And it's like, oh, okay. I thought I was getting near the like end of the game. And yeah, technically it is close to the end of the game. But then it becomes like predominantly Soul Leon for the most part. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Now we're getting kind of the Resident Evil of recent years, where there is a little bit more action along with the little kind of occasional spooks here and there. It was a lot of fun. I highly enjoy it. I do recommend it. I'm looking forward to seeing kind of where they go from here, at least in the main continuity, because now next one's going to be Resident Evil 10. It's going to be well past their 30-year mark of the franchise. So it's gonna be fun. I know we're getting a couple remakes that they've confirmed for. I think it was 01 and what was it, Code Veronica. But I'm highly looking forward to seeing where they go from here, because they do seem to have, at least on the mainline team, a pretty good team set up to continue this story. So I'm optimistic. They have made me optimistic, and that is slightly hard to do because I am inherently highly pessimistic when it comes to the video game industry. But, well, another thing to talk about, Magic the Gathering, because Jose's not here. He can't zone out. I can talk about it all I want. But I'm not going to talk about it for very long because, well, I kind of like tormenting Jose a little bit with it. It's a character flaw of mine, but it's something I truly enjoy doing. So, Ninja Turtles release has come and gone as the pre-release as well. We had a pre-recorded episode that came out that week when the pre-release occurred, so we couldn't really talk about pre-release for it too much. And then I didn't get to really attend the pre-release or the actual release because of just scheduling. One of which was because I was out seeing a concert. That was kind of one of the reasons why we actually pre-recorded in advance, is like I was going to be out of town that Friday because that's when we record. We record on a Friday. It gives me time to edit over the weekend, get it out by Monday morning for everybody. And a close friend of mine and I, it's like we hadn't seen each other in a while, went up to go to San Francisco and see this show. So we went up and saw a Wilhelm Scream, kind of a nice melodic hardcore act. They're out of Massachusetts. And it was a lovely show. It was an absolutely lovely show. It was a 4-act night. You had the local opener, Iron Front. Then you had the hardcore acts, Doomsday, and kind of the more metal side of the hardcore scene in Death by Stereo. And then headlining it was a Wilhelm Scream. With Death by Stereo, it was kind of interesting because like I know a lot of their members were in all kinds of different bands, and I know that their guitarist is like, he is also in Zebrahead, or one of their guitarists. He's also in Zebrahead. He has a majestic mustache. If you look him up, you'll know exactly who he is. It's majestic. But it's like listening to that particular set, I was like, wait a minute, how do I know so many of these damn songs? And it's like, oh wait, yeah, I totally forgot I used to buy a whole bunch of like bootleg hardcore and skate punk stuff when I was a lot younger, and they were on it quite a bit, and I was like, oh, okay, now I know where I know all these things from. And it was kind of nice. Got to step outside for some fresh air after their set, because we've been in a hot room for a couple hours, and got to meet a couple members of the band for a little bit. It was pretty nice. And then, of course, came in, saw the Wilhelm Scream set, and that was a glorious set. Crowd erupted, highly interactive, lots of crowd surfing. Got knocked into by a person in front of me because somebody was crowd surfing and then went down right in front of them. So it was just kind of a nice domino effect. Good times. But that's one thing about the hardcore scene that is always pretty nice, is when you have like a good scene for the hardcore crews, you have a lot of community in those rooms. So people go down, everyone's going down to like pick them back up, make sure they're okay. If they got like hit or something like that, giving them water, getting them to sit down. Something gets in their, like they hit their eye or something, they're like washing it out for them and everything. It's like the scene takes care of the scene, and it's kind of a really beautiful thing. Which is always kind of funny because it's like you do hear a lot of aggression in that music genre, but it is also very highly community based. It's a lot of fun to be a part of that community. And I wish I could go see more shows like it more frequently. But my personal schedule is such that when those shows come through town, I typically find out about a week, maybe 2 weeks late, unless my buddy who goes to those shows and knows a lot of those bands lets me know ahead of time. But yeah, it's like it's nice. That's one thing I'm trying to do more of this year, is I do want to go see more concerts. I have not made that effort in a long time, and the last 2 concerts I've been to have been wonderful. About a year and a half back, actually, no, before that, so I'd say 3 concerts then. So not counting a Wilhelm Scream, because just saw that, just talked about that. previous one was also with that same friend that I went to go see a Wilhelm scream with. And we had gone to one of the local places, Strummers. And we saw a instrumental band that he is really a fan of, and they are phenomenal musicians. They're called the Strawberry Girls. It's a 3-piece band, all dudes. And they make some really kind of just... It's very beautiful. It is a little bit more kind of on... it's hard to articulate it because I wouldn't necessarily call it like hardcore or anything like that, or even kind of metal adjacent, but they are an instrumental act that kind of does a little bit of like the Dance Gavin Dance style of guitar playing. So kind of a little bit swancore-ish, where you have lots of intricate guitar parts interspersed with some just like chunky riffs here and there. So it does have that a little abrasive edge every so often, but they are some really damn good musicians, and that was a great show as well. Although my ears were ringing for about 2 days, but I think that's mostly due to Strummers. Then prior to that, it was almost a year since the previous concert that I had been able to go to, and that was when I got to see the Descendants, kind of a classic punk act that they were coming through. They played at a brewery in the downtown Fresno area. I think it was Tioga Sequoia, and they put on a great set. I'm happy that I was able to see them, and they still perform wonderfully. And it's one where I wanted to see them. I've wanted to see NoFX, but I know NoFX is no longer touring. But being able to see the Descendants at the very least while they're still touring was a very kind of a beautiful thing for me. My little tiny adolescent punk heart grew 2 sizes that day. But now I just got to wait till late April. And then in the girlfriend of my biannual trip up to the Bay Area, I'm taking her to her first concert, and we're going to see Electric Callboy, the party core band. So I'm hoping that that's going to be a good show, and that she enjoys it. I really do hope that she enjoys it, because it would be nice to take her out to some concerts here and there. I just want to make sure that it's going to be her scene, and that she'll enjoy it and the energy there and have a good time. So kind of the bigger venue, the larger act, that's one of the reasons why it's like I would take her to that before anything else, because I know she already likes them. But now it's like, okay, how about in the live setting, because that is always like a very different thing. And I do prefer, personally, smaller club venues, because you do get to be like right up there with the band. You get the energy. It's like an infectious thing. But I also am aware that because of that smaller space, you do get a lot of heat. You do get a lot of energy. You got people bumping up against each other. And if you're at all kind of claustrophobic, it can get too much to you too quickly. So it's like I'm testing the waters with a big old show, a nice big show, and we're not standing in the pit either. So it gives her a little bit of an out as well, in case it's not her scene. She can just sit down and we can just enjoy from a distance, instead of having to be like, oh, we have to stand for the next 3 hours. So I'm trying to be, or trying to like show her something new that she might enjoy, and also try to play it a little safe in a sense. So we'll see how that goes. Once that happens, I will obviously report back, since I'm putting it out there right now. Now, because of all of that, there's nothing more directly on my mind that I need to tell you people or talk to you people about, because I did not and do not plan ahead. I spitball and shoot from the hip. And because of that, I'm going to talk about Magic the Gathering one more time. Mostly just because once the Turtles released, I was like, okay, I'm going to just pick up some packs. I'm a filthy mono black player for the most part. I do have some other decks here and there. Most of them are big stompy or, hey, I'm just going to slowly murder your entire board state. Outside of that, I don't really play land removal. I'm not that much of a monster. Give me time. I am working on a deck, Josie, that does feature plenty of land removal. That said, my one chase card from the Turtles set was Super Shredder, because I just wanted him to be in part of the 99 of my zombie deck, because that has a lot of sack outlets. It has mana generation, tons of zombie tokens. It's a good spot for Super Shredder to be in. Now, that said, what I'm going to go ahead and do here, for those of you who are familiar with Magic and know what the hell I'm talking about, you can probably slightly hear me rifling through some cards right now. That's because I have to find out where I put it, because I'm going to go ahead and read Super Shredder to you, because I want you to understand why he is my chase card here. And I know I have him in a sleeve, so that at least makes it slightly easier to locate. But, okay, here he is. Super Shredder, he is black and 1 for a 1/1 with menace, but whenever another permanent leaves the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 counter on Super Shredder. So if you have a redundant sack outlet, like say something like Ashnod's Altar, and you're creating zombie tokens, you can generate a fair amount of mana and a fair amount of tokens really, really quickly. And I know that there's one other card that's a piece of the combo effectively, but it's not clicking in my head at the moment. I'll remember it probably after I post the fucking episode. But with that, it's like he will go really well in there. It's like he'll be one of the 2 non-zombie creatures in the whole deck, and one of the 2 non-zombie creatures is actually the commander, Geese of the Hellraiser. So it's like I have 2 copies of him, because when I bought the pre-release kit, oh boy, last pack in the pre-release kit, or last 2 packs, first one, boom, Super Shredder. It's like, hell yes, I got my chase card. I don't have to buy a whole bunch more turtle stuff or try to seek out getting the single at a later point for potentially more money, because I think he's running about like $22 right now. Last pack of the little pre-release kit, in the foil spot is Super Shredder foil. So I was like, oh cool, I got 2 Super Shredders for my toe dip into it to get try to get 1. So I got 2 of those. And then also at the same time, I'd also picked up a couple packs that are still left for Final Fantasy's set. And then, wouldn't you know it, after, legitimately, after they banned VV from Standard, from all the Izzet players just going ham with VV decks, I had never pulled a VV, and I'd bought boxes of Final Fantasy. Never pulled a VV. The moment they ban it, I pull them like almost every time I end up buying a pack now. If I buy like anything more than like 3 packs, somehow I'm pulling a fucking VV. Never pulled it beforehand. I have almost every card in that set that I want, and I had them mostly before they banned VV, but I'd never gotten VV. after they ban him, I get him all the damn time. Thankfully, he's still kind of a decent card. But and I don't think he's banned in Commander, so I could make an Izzet deck that is that could be a problem for God and everybody. But we'll see if I feel like I want to further alienate people that play with me with that game. That's one of the reasons I don't play Tifa as often as I like to, because it's like at least it's over one person by like turn 3 or 4. But that's just me. Now I will stop droning on about Magic. I've talked to you about some video games. I've talked to you about some concerts. And now I will unfortunately have to leave it at this for an episode today, because I have a shitload of things to do. Like a whole bunch of paperwork, some note-taking, and I do still have to get to bed and have this episode edited in a decent amount of time. So I'm going to do myself a favor. Unfortunately, you're not going to be getting a full episode's worth of content on this one. That said, hopefully next week we will return to a regularly scheduled style of episode. And at the very least, if Josie still has the goddamn plague, then it'll at least be me and Jose next week. But until then, this has been John for the Shenanigoons podcast, with music provided by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com. Go ahead, like, subscribe, send me some suggestions of things you'd like to hear about in the podcast, comics, video games, movies, music, whatever you'd like, send it in. We'll try to touch on some topics here. It's like we have a wide net of interest and shenanigans to get into. So, have yourselves a lovely week. We will see you next Monday, and, well, get fucked.